Hey girl, well, you obviously have the sweetest husband ever, and he bought you a bunch of great products from me, basically to do a full face of makeup. And so I don't know if you're familiar with SeneGence products, but I wanted to tell you a little bit about them because they are amazing. All of our creamy cosmetics, foundations, have what's called Cineplex Complex in them, which is an anti-aging patented technology that is incredible. It brings new skin cells to the surface faster, which gives you kind of that really like youthful appearance, helps control wrinkles, dullness, helps control acne. Like it does a lot of great things for your skin. So he bought you a color correcting tinted moisturizer. And the reason I recommended this one is because he shared a picture of me with you. Absolutely gorgeous, natural beauty. It doesn't look like you wear a ton of makeup. This is basically tinted skincare. And I love this because it gives you great coverage and it gives you a nice polished look. It has you look, you know, made up and ready for the day without being over made up, you know what I mean? And having, you know, a foundation feel. So I love that. He also got you Toasted Rose blush. Oh, and this is water resistant, but not waterproof because it's basically tinted moisturizer. I just wanted to call that out because blush actually also has our anti-aging technology in it. It's a tiny little tube because you only use a tiny little bit, and it is waterproof, smudge proof. Like you will actually put your blush on at the beginning of the day and it will stay there, which is rare because normally like powder blushes, they're gone within a couple of hours and then you just start kind of looking dull. And anyways, I love this and I'll show you exactly how to use it. He bought you 3 eyeshadows, and all of our eyeshadows pull double duty. So like this one, Sandstone Pearl, is a great color. You can put it on your eyelid, which I'll show you, but you can also use it for highlighting. You can use it for concealing. You can actually use it for several different things. The next one is Mocha Java. Mocha Java is just a nice natural tan. I'm gonna put that on my eye, but I'm also gonna show you how to fill your eyebrow with it and do a little bit of basic contouring if you'd like to do contouring. And then the last eyeshadow is Onyx. You can use Onyx. You can use Onyx as an eyeshadow. You can also use it as an eyeliner. And this you can use it as an eyebrow filler, but if it's not quite dark enough for you, you can actually mix it with the Onyx and make it a little bit darker, which I absolutely love as well. And then to finish out eyes, I sent you a mascara. It's called LashSense with UnderSense. It is also waterproof. These are waterproof as well. And when you put this on, the gray side of it is like a lash builder. So you'll open it up, put it on your lashes, let it dry for a second. You can even do a couple of coats and let those dry. And then you cover it with the black waterproof mascara. And then that way you have big, beautiful, built-up eyelashes that are waterproof, which is really nice, especially if you swim, sweat, go to the gym, chasing around after the kids. Like I'll get sweaty literally just playing with my kid. But I actually won't put this one on for you just because I have eyelash extensions and mascara and eyelash extensions don't mix. And then the last thing he got you is a starter collection of LipSense. And LipSense is our, by far, wow product. It is a lip color that you apply at the beginning of the day. It's a liquid lip color. You put it on, totally different than any other lip color, so be sure to watch all the way to the end so you know how to apply this. But once it's on, it is like dry. Like you can touch your mouth, you can kiss, you can eat, you can do whatever you want, and your lip color is going to stay on your face. And it's not a lip stain. It actually comes with a gloss. It's actually required that you use the gloss because the gloss works with the lip color. It's totally different than anything else. But you can apply that throughout the day so you actually have moist, healthy, soft lips as opposed to all those other products that dry your lips out. They don't look good. They come off. They smudge. They don't look great. So he also gave you a set of brushes. I actually think I just included those because it was a really nice order and I really loved what he was doing for you. So I actually use the same brushes. So I'm gonna show you which brushes you use for each product and a few application techniques. So that way, when you go to use these products, you get the absolute best benefit. So the first thing I'm gonna show you is how to conceal with Sandstone Pearl. Mine is a little old. I've had it more than a year and it's starting to get a little dry. So I'm going to apply it just directly with the wand. If you take your wand out of your tube and it has a lot of product on it, you can just dab a little bit on and then just blend it in with your fingers. And it will completely help you out with any of that stuff. Like I have a lot of redness to my skin. I probably should have just opened another one of these finally. So I'm just gonna take it and just put it on the places where I'm a little extra red and need a little extra help. The other place that you can place it is right underneath your eye. You actually make like a V shape underneath your eye, fill it in a little bit, and then use your finger just to dab it in. And before I do my eyes, I may actually just grab another one real quick and open it. All right. So there's a little bit of concealing. You know what, I have one more little spot here. I was out of town over the weekend, went to bed without washing my face, and that is just kryptonite for me. I know better, and I do it anyways sometimes. It's just really, really ridiculous. So, okay, so I did some concealing here to just help out with some of the spots that were extra red. And then the next thing I'm going to show you is the color correcting tinted moisturizer. So this brush right here, it's like fat and flat on the top. I love this guy for putting on foundation. I'm going to put on like maybe a third or a half of a pump here, and I'm going to use a technique called stippling. And this method will get you great coverage without putting a ton of makeup on your face. It is way better than applying with your fingers, and it's even better than taking it and like buffing it in. Because if you think about it, if you put on concealer and then you put on something wet over it and you just mix it around, it's just going to mix your concealer around. So this is a way to get great coverage without adding a ton of product to your face. And it's kind of funny. It's kind of like just hammering your face with a brush. These brushes are nice and soft. They're synthetic. Synthetic hair as opposed to real hair is best for these products. And it's really easy. So I use about a third of a pump on each area of my face. And I just do that stippling motion because it gives that great coverage without putting a lot of product on. And again, like I said, it's just tinted skincare. That may have even been like less than a third of a pump. That may have just been like a quarter of a pump. So after I do each area of my face, I'll actually go back in and go over any areas that need a little extra coverage. And if you decide that you need more coverage than the tinted moisturizer offers, you can do one of two things. You can exchange it with me for a foundation, or you can go ahead and you can actually layer tinted moisturizer with foundation. You can put tinted moisturizer on first and then put foundation on over it. And they're so, they have such a great texture. Everything feels like skincare, even the foundation. It doesn't feel like traditional foundations you may have used. That you can actually layer them together for better coverage, more sun protection, and a more refined look without feeling cakey or weird. So you see what a big difference that made on my face? It's just tinted moisturizer, that's all it is. And it's the application method that makes such a big difference. So the next thing I'm going to show you is if you want to do a little bit of contouring. I don't know if you do any contouring now, but contouring is a way you can actually make your face look a little bit thinner, or you can accentuate things that you like and downplay things that you don't necessarily like. So I'm not like a body shamer or anything like that, but I like to make my skin look a little, or my face look a little more thin. So the way I do that is you'll feel your cheekbone under here. You can actually place your finger up underneath your cheekbone and see where this line is right here. So you can take this and dot, 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 dot this Mocha Java and just put some little dots right here and kind of make a little line. And then take this little flat, rounded, fluffy guy and just buff it in a little. Just give them a good blend. And see that? See how it creates a shadow right there and it thins my face? Kind of cool, huh? So a lot of times people think that contouring is like a really scary thing because they've seen people do something called baking on YouTube, where it's like they make these segments of their face and they do all this crazy stuff. And I thought that contouring was not something I would ever be interested in until I learned how to use these products. Sorry, I was just gonna do a little bit extra on this side to even it out. So you see how that creates some thinness? Ta-da! I love that. So the other thing that I do sometimes is because I have a wider, like a pretty tall forehead here, I'll create shadow up here by doing the same thing and just applying it, and then buffing it in a little, right up here next to my hairline. And then it just creates shadow and brings the whole thing in. And then I'll show you this when we put it on our eyes in a second. All right, so Toasted Rose Blush. I love this blush. It goes great on pretty much everybody. I have other colors, so again, like I said, you can return or exchange anything that doesn't work for you. I am actually not liable for that, so if there's anything that you don't like, you send it back to me. I send it back to the company. They give me a brand new one to sell, so no harm, no foul. There's no pressure to love anything you don't. And if you get something that you love but it's not the right color, I can exchange it for you. Same deal. I just send them the old product, they send me a new one to sell. So I'm just gonna take, like, honestly, like, this was the tiniest little dot right here, and I kind of smeared it around a little bit so that I would get some coverage out of it, but it's the tiniest little dot. And the way you're going to apply your blush is generally from the top of your cheekbone to about here. You don't really want to go past your pupil when you're applying your blush. And you're gonna apply that right above where you did your contouring, on the actual cheekbone. And then again, I just do this kind of tapping motion to blend it in. I don't do a lot of like because I had that, you know, concealer underneath and all that good stuff. So I'm gonna do, I don't know if you can even see that tiny little amount on the tip of my brush, and then go in and do the other side. And like I said, don't go past your pupil. You don't wanna go all the way in your cheek, like to your nose. You wanna leave it a little higher up on your cheek. Ta-da! You can go heavier if you like a more dramatic blush look. You can go lighter. Either way, it's all good. You could also even use this for contouring if you wanted. If this was like, if you wanted to use that like up here around your forehead and things like that. So it's kind of multi-purpose. All right, so the next thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna show you how to do eyes. So I always start with a base of eyeshadow. I'm gonna grab another one real quick because this one is really low. I use it all the time. Let's see. Well, I thought I had it. All right. So, here we go. I'm just gonna use this one. I didn't realize I'd run out of these. So the first thing you're gonna do is take this and just put it on your eye. Like I said, mine is getting kind of dry. So if you have a lot of product on the wand, you can either just apply a little bit, or you can even take an eyeshadow brush, like this fluffy eyeshadow brush, and just do it on the wand and then do it on your eye. I'm gonna just apply this one directly because mine's getting a little low and I clearly need to reorder it. I've been using, I don't think I've ever replaced this one, which means I've been using it more than a year. I'm gonna do this other side as well. And the thing about our eyeshadows is they're great for blending. You can make them lighter, you can make them darker, but in my opinion, they kind of need a base to work with. So I like to coat my entire eye in the Sandstone Pearl because it gives me a base to blend in. So the next thing I'm gonna do is take my Mocha Java that I used earlier for contouring, and I'm going to take a brush and I'm going to wipe some of the product onto my brush. And then for me, I actually usually apply my eyeshadow out here in like the corner of my eye. And I like my eyes to look bigger, so I don't put dark colors in the middle. I put dark colors on the outside. And I just dab it on in there. No big deal. Like, you can literally get this whole process done in maybe 5 or 6 minutes. This video is gonna take longer than that because I've been chatting at you. But once you get the hang of it, you can be out the door with, you know, full makeup on in a very brief period of time. So now the next thing that you can do with this is to take a little brush, this little guy right here, and I don't know if you can see that, but you can take it, and again, like, I'm actually gonna just dunk this back in here and get some more product on it. And then I'm gonna take this and wipe it on the tip, and then you can fill your eyebrow with it. My eyebrows are microbladed, so they're already pretty dark, so you're probably not seeing a whole lot of a difference. But just to give you an example, is you take the little brush that's like this tiny little guy and load him up with some product and shape your eyebrows with it, just to give you some fullness and definition. The last thing I do with this guy, or with the tiny little brush, is actually, there's 2 in your set. There's this one that has the little mascara guy on the other side, and then this one. He's a flat angled one, and this is the one that I use to do eyeliner with. And I actually use our Onyx eyeshadow as my eyeliner. We do have eyeliner. It's a liquid eyeliner. It's super waterproof. I find it a little hard to apply. It has a very thin little brush in it, and like, I don't understand how to use it, honestly. And I have been doing this a while, and pretty much all of us use Onyx instead because it's a little easier to apply. So I'm just taking this and dabbing it on the wand and loading up both sides. And then I'm going to close my eye and start in the middle of my eye and go to the outside, and then connect the line in. And when I do mine, just because of the shape of my eye, I don't go past my inner lash here. And then the last thing I'll do is I'll put a little tiny bit more on here, is I actually take my line and pull it up and out a little bit. And it just gives your eye some extra lift and extra drama. You see, like you can see how it looks like this eye is wider than this eye now because of the eyeliner. And then after I've done all that with just that tiny little bit of product left on the wand, I just run it through my bottom eyelashes. Ta-da! So that's the complete eye look. And then I'll just do the other side real quick, and then I'll show you how to do your lip color, which is totally different than anything you've ever tried. So let me tell you the reason why I start in the middle of my eye and go out. It's because that's when I have the most product on the tip of my wand. And if I start on the inside of my eye, it tends to deposit a lot of product there. So I want to use up some of the product on my wand before I go all the way into the inside of my eye where I want the line to be the thinnest. And like I said, I take that line pretty far out on just my eye because I have big long eyelashes, and so it kind of balances it out. And then I'm just gonna drag this through my bottom eyelashes. All right, so the last thing I'm gonna show you is how to apply the lip color. And the lip color, like I said, is kind of amazing. So the first thing you're gonna do is shake it up. And the reason you're gonna shake it up is because it has our long-lasting liquid lip color technology in it, but it also has cosmetics grade alcohol. And the reason that it has cosmetics grade alcohol in it is because when you apply it, the alcohol evaporates immediately and it leaves a dry lip color on your lip. So it's liquid here and it's dry here, and it's because of that cosmetics grade alcohol. So because it has cosmetics grade alcohol in it, have you ever like rubbed an alcohol swab across your arm and it just feels cold and wet? But if you have a scratch on your arm and you rub it over, it kind of burns a little bit. It's because your skin, if you have exposed nerve endings, they'll sting a little bit when you rub alcohol across them. So if it burns a little bit when you put it on, you're not allergic or anything generally. It's just going to mean that your lips may be a little dry, a little cracked, even cracks that you can't see. And most people's are that have been using products that have wax in them. So give it a good shake. And then I had a little towel right here. What did I do with it? Oh, here. So the last thing you want to touch your lips before you put on your LipSense is cool, clean water. So I had a little water on this dishcloth, and then I am drying my lips off. So this goes on in 3 thin layers. So when I take this wand out of the tube, I'm actually going to use the neck of the tube to get a bunch of that product off. Like I don't want to see a lot of product on the wand. So I'm going to apply it in 3 thin layers, letting them dry for a few seconds in between, and then seal it in with the gloss, and that's it. So it's kind of like a dry erase marker. You want to go in one direction, but not go like back over what you did. So you'll see me go middle out, side to side, and then you'll see me do the exact same thing the next 2 layers. Now you saw that I made sure that I got all the way on the inside of my lip. So you're not gonna mash, you're not gonna rub, you're gonna try not to touch your lips together at all while it dries for a second or 2. And if you're doing pretty thin layers like you're supposed to be, it will dry very quickly. So this is the second layer. Another second to dry, and now I'm gonna do the third and last layer. Now it's really important to do the 3 layers. It's just how the product works. So once you get this on, it is gonna last, it's guaranteed for 4 hours, but it'll go up to 18. And the longer you wear it, the healthier your lips will be, and the longer it'll last on you. So maybe you start wearing it, it only lasts 3 or 4 hours in the beginning. By, you know, if you just stick with it, then you will get a lot longer out of it. Like after 12 hours, I have to use the remover to take mine off. And you have a remover too, I'll tell you about that in a second. So you see how I applied 3 layers of that, and now it's dry, and my finger is clean, clean. So the last thing you're going to do, very important, to put on some gloss. If you like a glossy look, just apply it like you normally would. If you like a more matte look, then just apply some and rub it in with your fingers. It'll pretty much soak into your lips within about 10 minutes or so. This has shea butter, it has vitamin E, it has no natural beeswax in it, it has synthetic beeswax in it. And the reason that's important is because the molecules on this are super, super tiny and fine, and they're bonded with shea and vitamin E. Now, if you use a natural wax product, chapstick, Balmex, whatever any of that stuff is, nothing else works with this. So if you put it on, it will either lift your color off or it won't actually hydrate your lips. It will actually just totally kind of mess up the whole system. So be sure to be using your gloss. And this one has a little bit of tint to it. It's called Sand. The one you have is called Glossy. It's nice and clear. I don't honestly think that the glosses make a huge difference. So we have a bunch of different glosses. I don't think they make like a giant difference. Some people like some more than others. I'm a glossy girl for the most part. This was just the one that I happened to find when I grabbed my stuff out of my makeup case to come show you. So that's how I put that on, and you'll want to reapply gloss throughout the day. So if your lips start to feel a little dry, throw you some gloss on. It's great to gloss before you eat. It will protect your lip color while you're eating. That's a good thing. And if you notice in the beginning, you're like, oh my gosh, I'm having to apply this gloss every 10 minutes. It's driving me crazy. I mean, that's an exaggeration. You probably shouldn't have to be putting it on every 10 minutes. But it could just mean that your lips are a little dehydrated and they're kind of drinking it up. So as it's drinking in the shea butter, the vitamin E, and all that good stuff, in the beginning, you may be reapplying your gloss more often. Just go with whatever your lips tell you. If they feel dry, put some gloss on and just keep working through that. And then the last thing I was going to mention is if your lips are tingling because maybe they're kind of in bad condition, like if you've been using Burt's Bees for a long time, chapstick for a long time, your lips may be in really kind of like tough shape like mine were. Mine were like honestly in such bad shape. When I first started using the product, it was more tingling, kind of burning sensation than I was willing to do every day. So the way to get around that is to just start using the gloss and use the gloss for several days, and then you can use the lip color. Just rehydrate those lips and get those nerve endings, like get it healed up and get their lips in good condition, and then you can put the lip color back on. Most people don't have a problem. I had been a habitual like lip picker, literally cracked lips. They would bleed sometimes. They were in really, really bad condition. And so for me, like the tingling sensation when I put it on, when I first started using it was like, whoa. But once I got kind of over the hump on that, I just used gloss, got my lips back in great condition, and my lips are so big and smooth now. I used to not even like really have a top lip because they were so dehydrated. I had no idea the products I used were doing that to my lips. So anyways, I hope this was useful for you. If you have questions on how to use any of the products, let me know. And like I said, there is no pressure to love them. I can take a return if you need it, or I can exchange anything for you if I picked the wrong color, because obviously this was a gift and I had to just like pick based on a picture. So I hope I got things right for you. And if there's anything you don't love, let me know. If you have any questions, let me know. If you want to add to your collection, let me know. And if you love this stuff and want to sell it like I do, let me know that too. I'll help you get started. Bye. Thank you.